Guenther Steiner has been abruptly fired in a shocking move from the Haas Formula One team, which he has led since its inception. Haas are now saying goodbye to the same Steiner that was instrumental in the development of Haas F1 and its unusual setup, which includes technical affiliations with both Ferrari and Dallara, but also includes numerous sponsors brought in by Steiner. Steiner supervised Haas's spectacular first season in 2016, in which it placed 6th in its first race and 9th in the Constructors' Championship, as well as the highs and lows that have followed. These included a pointless 2021 season, a first ever pole position at Interlagos in 2022, and, most recently, a 2023 car that was a good qualifier but had a tyre-wrecking flaw that sent Haas to the bottom of the Constructors' Championship for only the second time in their 8-season F1 existence. However, Steiner has shockingly been replaced by Ayao Komatsu, a former trackside engineering director who has worked under Steiner from the team's beginnings. Komatsu also has extensive F1 experience before to Haas, having held engineering positions at Bar and Renault. CEO Gene Haas stated that Komatsu's engineering knowledge was critical in his selection. "I'd like to start by extending my thanks to Guenther Steiner for all his hard work over the past decade, and I wish him well for the future," Haas said in a statement. "Going forward as an organization, it was clear we need to improve our on-track performances. In appointing Ayao Komatsu as team principal, we fundamentally have engineering at the heart of our management. We have had some successes, but we need to be consistent in delivering results that help us reach our wider goals as an organization. We need to be efficient with the resources we have, but improving our design and engineering capability is key to our success as a team. I'm looking forward to working with Ayao and fundamentally ensuring that we maximize our potential. This truly reflects my desire to compete properly in Formula One." Following in the footsteps of recent engineers turned team heads Andrea Stella, McLaren, and James Vowles, Williams, this will be Komatsu's first experience of senior management. "I'm naturally very excited to have the opportunity," Komatsu remarked. "Having been with the team since its track debut back in 2016, I'm obviously passionately invested in its success in Formula One. I'm looking forward to leading our program and the various competitive operations internally to ensure we can build a structure that produces improved on-track performances. We are a performance-based business. We obviously haven't been competitive enough recently, which has been a source of frustration for us all. We have amazing support from Gene and our various partners, and we want to mirror their enthusiasm with an improved on-track product. We have a great team of people across Canapolis, Banbury and Maranello, and together I know we can achieve the kind of results we're capable of." Haas also announced the appointment of a European-based Chief Operational Officer to manage all non-competition matters and departments, a position that would be situated at Haas's Banbury plant, which was previously home to the Marussia F1 team. One thing is certain for Haas, and that is that Guenther Steiner's departure from the team raises severe concerns about the Formula One team's chances and future. It's difficult to envision Haas without Steiner, since while the team is named after its owner, Gene Haas, it was truly Steiner F1 in all. It was but its name. The ramifications of his leaving are far-reaching at Haas, but whether his successor Ayao Komatsu is a competent replacement or not, everything that has led to Steiner's departure is cause for concern. Though practically everyone is surprised by the announcement, considering Steiner's importance to the company, his permanent presence there, and the fact that he was F1's third longest-serving team manager, it is not wholly unexpected. There had been simmering dissatisfaction for some time, and things were coming to a head behind the scenes. There were dissatisfactions with the way Haas was operated from the top, namely Gene Haas, who seemed to have turned indifferent towards his own F1 team and refused to spend much more than what it currently had. With a restricted UK base in Banbury, a technical facility in Maranello where Haas has a vital relationship with Ferrari, and a scarcely used but superb headquarters in the United States, Steiner and Haas differed on the team's potential in its current configuration. While Steiner believed Haas required consistent investment over the next 4 years because it had outgrown its unique multi-location Ferrari-dependent strategy, Haas feels the team has underperformed and did not require additional money or upgraded facilities to perform better. This basic conflict resulted in evident friction and eventually an irreparable split. Even the formal announcement spoke to the magnitude of the dispute. In it, Haas emphasizes increased efficiency, leveraging the team's capabilities, and his apparent goal to compete in Formula One. Komatsu believes that the existing pieces just need to be reformed and properly led, and that the team can produce greater outcomes in its current configuration. If taken at its value, that means Komatsu told Gene Haas precisely what he wanted to hear, which is why he now has Steiner's position. It appears that some of it occurred in the later part of 2023 and is akin to pushing for the job in certain ways, a classic instance of some F1 politics. Whether Komatsu really feels Haas is less than the sum of its parts and so can improve just via his leadership, it cannot mask the worry about what Gene Haas believes his F1 team is, what he wants it to exist for, and what it implies in reality. He has always seemed content to let the team survive without investing in or selling it. He doesn't need the money, and he doesn't need the team to succeed in order to benefit his Haas automation brand, which is why the team was formed in the first place. In F1's cost-cutting world, with a better prize money spread for the worst-performing teams than before, and an array of good partners that, ironically, Steiner was absolutely critical in bringing on board, Haas's F1 team doesn't need to achieve much to tick over and make it worth the owner's while. However, that is an unimpressive life for a team in an elite sport. Steiner, a guy with significant expertise in F1 and other motorsports, was certain that this was a sinking squad in desperate need of help. He had saved it from oblivion and intended it to be a basis for growth. Yet it appears that the closest Haas has gone to offering further funding is if the team accomplishes more with what it presently has for now. If Steiner is correct, Gene Haas made a poor assessment of the circumstances. This year will put Haas's belief that his current investment is underutilized to the test. Haas is the smallest team in Formula One, with modest infrastructure and a complicated organization. Its UK headquarters in Banbury are uninspiring, and there is definitely some dysfunction to be resolved there as well. Komatsu, who is located in Banbury, may provide more direct leadership than Steiner, who is based in the United States. It ultimately comes down to who was correct, Gene or Guenther. Then there's the question of whether anything will change if Haas realizes his faith in his team's current promise is mistaken. Komatsu's Haas may be rather different from Steiner's. It may be more efficient, useful, and competitive. But doing so would need breaking through a barrier that this squad has been battling for a long time. If Komatsu runs into the same issues, it will reflect badly on one individual, the owner. Will he then put his money where his mouth is? Or prove that all he actually wants from his F1 team is for it to exist for marketing? What do you think? Will Haas actually feel an uplift from this change, or will they fall even further down? Steiner's departure, however, indicates a degree of wandering, raising doubts about whether Gene Haas's squad is what F1 has in mind for a so-called franchise model that is now impeding a possible Andretti General Motors Works team. This season will already begin to reveal who is correct and who is incorrect. But Steiner isn't the only one who believes Haas F1 has stagnated, and if this is what Gene Haas wants or is ready to accept for his F1 team, how valuable is that team to F1? And does it start to affect the debate about whether another team, primarily the Andretti GM offer, should be on the grid instead? Haas without Steiner is not just less intriguing, but also less commercially relevant, so it is reasonable to wonder what that team adds to F1. Especially when the discourse surrounding Andretti is constantly centered on what are they adding rather than just taking away. And the answer for Haas is that as the permanent 10th team, it's easy to envision Haas becoming a faceless, unambitious organization that hoovers up prize money while offering next to nothing to F1 overall. That completely contradicts what F1 hopes to achieve with its so-called franchise model. F1 is asking us all to believe in the concept of 10 healthy, thriving teams. That works only if the franchises are as powerful as they can be. Haas is not one of them, or at least it does not appear to be. So, if it's taking up one of the grid's 10 locked-in spots and depriving a new team with ties to General Motors and a new engine manufacturer in a few years, you have to wonder how it could possibly be in F1's best interests. While this is unlikely to change Gene Haas's mind about selling, if the team continues to underperform, he is really unhappy and has no intention of investing further. And it might shift F1's focus from back the existing 10 teams to it might be better if this one is sold. The biggest argument against Haas closing is that the people who work there do not deserve to have their jobs taken away. That is why a sale, whether to Andretti or to someone else, makes perfect sense and is a win-win situation for all sides. Haas's disinterest is bad for the team's chances, bad for the individuals who work there, and bad for Formula One. Selling implies that the entry has greater momentum and dedication, and the individuals working there have the option of joining the new team instead. So, objectively speaking, which gives more to F1? A rambling, nameless Ferrari client with an uncompetitive and maybe already obsolete technical model whose owner refuses to invest? Or another famous name in US racing with a manufacturer relationship and a works engine in the works? It's a no-brainer. And, while Haas cannot and will not be compelled to sell, and until now, F1 probably wouldn't have cared, Steiner's departure has a tangible influence on the conversation. What do you think? Is F1 better off without Haas? And is Haas better off without Steiner as their team boss? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.